Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Speedrun Insider. My name is CJitsallGewd. Thank you so much for joining me this week, as you do every week. If you enjoyed the show, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, download, do all the things that you do to support the show. That's all I can ever ask of any of you. Your friends, your neighbors, download the podcast on their devices too. You know, your neighbors have kids, not a lot of people know that, but you can download it for them too. They have little fingers, they have a hard time navigating the podcast app, so you can get that all taken care of for them. We have been doing a lot of podcasting here lately, ladies and gentlemen, in the Speed Doc's office. I'm getting podcasted out, but we have a few more great episodes that I have left to record for you lovely folks in this marathon recording session, and I am excited for today's guest. I will make you wait no longer. He's the Chameleon Twister. My second favorite person from the state of Indiana. He didn't know what putting on the Ritz was, and he is here on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, qwillinallthefish. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you, CJ?
Oh, I'm living the dream. I can't complain. I would, but who'd listen?
Me.
Out there,
That's what I'm on the podcast for, right?
You're a captive listener for the next 90 minutes or so. Where are you going? You're going nowhere.
I'm really sorry about that whole putting on the Ritz thing.
No, you're fine, dude. Well, because, okay, so I was like, hey, do you know putting on the Ritz? And he's like, no, I don't. So I sent him the video, and I didn't get any feedback, and I'm like, did you get it? He's like, yeah, I got pulled up. I was like, okay, this bit's not going to work. That's okay. Someone said, CJ, before you do the bit, you should ask him if he knows what it is. And I said, okay, that's a good idea. That's a good plan. I should have thought of that. Turns out, thank you, Silent Hero, for the advice. That was good advice. So for all you out there that don't know, I was doing a bit, which is Fred Astaire, putting on the Ritz, right? If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Put it on the Ritz, right? And then a Young Frankenstein, they do a thing where they're doing the Fred Astaire bit, right? It's like top hat and tails and canes, and they're Gene Wilder, if you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? And the monster goes, right? Just a big blob right there for you in the waveform. And, it's my favorite bit in that movie, and ends up being one of the best bits in the whole movie. It's certainly mine, like I said. And I think that the thing that sticks out to me about that, and I don't know why, but qwillinallthefish and putting on the Ritz is the same number of syllables.
That very much is.
So I'm like, man, we have a putting on the Ritz size name that I can put in here. And it's so rare, right? Because it's like extra syllables. And I'm like, well, how many times do you have guests on that have so many syllables? And it's okay, we'll get somebody. But I did get to go through the bit anyway, so I'm happy with that,
I'm really surprised I hadn't seen it before, because my wife has watched a lot of older television and movies, and therefore I have watched a lot of older television and movies. And I enjoy it, of course, but I'm surprised that has never come up, because things like what's that show with Dick Van Dyke? Oh, the Dick Van Dyke Show. That's the one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of bit in action exists in that show a lot. I was watching that, I was like, I wonder if this ever occurred on that. But I don't know the relative age of those things, so maybe not.
Well, Dick Van Dyke did a lot of I'm Dick Van... Oh, I'm going over the ottoman. Whoa! Right?
Yeah, he did.
It's he does a lot of physical humor. And not in I don't know if I would call it slapstick way, but it is he was a very physical person, and it's so crazy because the thing about Dick Van Dyke, and I, much like your wife, enjoy all things old on television and film. Dick Van Dyke is still walking around.
Yeah.
He was in the newest Mary Poppins movie that came out with the guy from Hamilton and Emily Blunt, maybe, I don't know. But they had the whole cast, right? It's the whole thing, and they have Dick Van Dyke playing the banker character he played in the movie from 100 years ago, however long it was, a long time ago. And he's playing the same character. He's playing the banker character, and he's dancing. Now, it's Dick Van Dyke dancing as a 90-year-old man.
Uh-huh.
And he's up there, and he's dancing better than I can dance.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's probably healthier than me.
Dick Van Dyke's seen some shit. I don't know if he's healthier than you.
It's true.
You know, you look pretty good from your SDAT appearance. You look okay. You look like you're doing okay for yourself. You know, I'm reading I read your Twitter bio because I had to pull up your Twitter to get the thing for the end of the show where I, shout you out and everything.
Right.
And I'm interested to see if you want to talk about this portion of your life, and it's okay if you don't. I see that you said in your bio it's very prominent that you're a Christian.
Yep.
How do you... Well, one, I'm interested to hear you talk about how you manage a religious spirituality in a place that is so... I don't even want to say against the idea of organized religion, such as the internet. But in an environment that is very much like, I don't want to say anti-groupthink, but kind of like anti-establishment, maybe, especially in this current generation.
Yeah.
What has that experience been like for you?
So I don't know if you've ever had this experience. So I grew up in an area that I grew up in a town called Richmond, Indiana. Mm-hmm. And if anybody needs to know where that is, it's like right in the center vertically of Indiana on the border of Ohio. And what you get when you live there is you are within driving distance of every local major city. Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Dayton, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio are all within an hour and a half drive. And
that's pretty cool.
A lot of those cities, especially the inner city, have a very high black population, right? So I was on a robotics team in high school, and we went to a high school for a competition where the school was 95% black or African American, right? Mm-hmm. And being white in that situation, because I am white, and I don't have my image here, but I am white. It's like an obscure thing where you are a minority in a situation when you're the majority normally, right? Okay, so the same thing is very similar with being a Christian in person versus being a Christian online. I'm suddenly a minority where I normally wouldn't be, where people put it down online. And I know a lot of people have bad experiences with Christian people, and there are a lot of Christian people that don't live up to the way that they should be based on the religion, right? Mm-hmm. In my views, I have love first. That's like the first thing that's on the agenda. Mm-hmm. That's what Jesus in the Bible said, to love everyone. So that's what I do. And I do my best not to judge anyone based on their appearances or their thoughts or anything like that. Now, if I have a conversation with somebody and I have to discuss whether I agree with something they're doing or not, sure, I can do that. But I always come back to, but it's not my decision whether what you're doing is a wrong or right thing. I am not your judge. So I try my absolute hardest to make everyone feel comfortable and to live however they want to live. And then I want the reciprocation of that back to me, where I believe what I believe and you can believe what you want to believe. And I'm just like with this podcast, I'm very open to talking about that. Sure. And always, that's one of the other things that is within the faith of Christianity that you're supposed to do, is be open to anyone so that they can come and talk to you about it. And I'm kind of glad you brought this up. I didn't expect this question, but I am glad you brought it up, because I enjoy being able to talk about it. And I don't take any offense to anybody that says, oh, Qwil's he's a Christian, I don't want to support him anymore. That's your choice. The information is out there. I don't want that to be hidden. I'm not trying to hide that fact ever.
Sure. Well, in the situation where you're the majority, your faith is a facet of your life that's very important to you.
Right.
And in a situation where you're the minority, you don't want that to be something that you find out over dessert.
Right.
Right? Because people then feel... I don't know if they feel lied to. I think the thing that I think about, because I was raised Catholic, and I'm currently, I guess if you were going to force me to put myself into some form or denomination, I'd put myself into non-practicing of any religion at this point, but raised Catholic in an area that's very like Roman Catholic, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the Bible and its teachings, when I would go to like CCD, like I'd go to like religious education, because I didn't go to the Catholic school. And I would go to the school, and it's like, hey, be charitable. You know, be... Right. I also live in the Northeast. Be nice to everyone, right? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. Don't judge other people, lest ye be judged.
Right.
Let he is who without sin cast the first stone.
Right.
These are things often quoted from the Bible, and then you run into people, and I'm anti-zealot, is the way that I put it. Anyone that, you know, uses the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or any religious scripture as cover for their, you know, crazy beliefs. You know,
right.
that's just, who can defend that?
Right.
And then when organized religion comes to the decision of we will, or either cover up or offer protection thereof, organized religion is such a drag when the messages can often just be decent. Also, and this is something I asked, and this was a funny experience for me. I'm interested in what your experience is. I was in religious ed, and I'm like, there's a talking snake? And she was like, yes. And I said, but snakes don't talk. She goes, no. I said, so it's a metaphorical talking snake? She goes, no, it's a literal talking snake. But there are no talking snakes. She goes, yes. I said, I'm supposed to take everything in here literally? And she goes, now you're getting it.
Oh, wow. That's pretty rough. And I'm down with like conversations about what is literal and what's not, but everything's literal. There's literally parts where Jesus is teaching a parable where he's made up a story to teach a lesson.
Yeah.
What?
I swear, some people haven't read the fucking book.
No, definitely not.
Some people haven't read it, and that's both sides. People that are angry about it and people that aren't angry about it.
Right.
Right? I don't know. I think that people have... I mean, there's some pretty shitty people in this world that could use a better moral code than the one that they have. I'm not advocating for organized religion personally. And you can feel free to object or disagree. But I definitely think that the words as written in any one scripture, if you were to take it as like a book that was written today, and you took it with that grain of salt, that you could like review it online and give it a 1 star if you didn't like it, then it would probably speak to some people, right? It would probably ring true. It'd be a moral code. In a time when you needed a moral code, because the alternative is people are just gonna fucking go nuts.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if there's no Bible, then people are like, rape and pillage and burn everything and steal everything. Covet thy neighbor's wife and covet some chili fries and whatever. So, you know, just like, and you can have this opportunity to reply to any of the things that I said in this comment or the one before it. But I just wanted to let you have that time because I know that I ramble.
I currently am not associated with any particular church. Still, like, passively looking for a church for some sort of organization. Mm-hmm. But it's less for the experience of listening to some guy talk about the Bible and more for the ability to talk to other people about it. Because I don't think you can determine and figure out everything that has existed in the religion of Christianity by yourself. I don't think that will work. There's too much there to just understand everything. And some sort of organization and fellowship is very important. But there's a lot of organization that goes wrong. I think you're right there as well. Like, if you have a pastor that is teaching wrongfully, teaching that you can use, let's say there's a pastor that taught that the Bible could be used as a weapon against people to make fun of them or to judge them or tell them that they are terrible people, then that pastor's doing the wrong job. He's teaching you the wrong things, and a lot of people are just going to absorb what he says as truth because he's the one that studies it. And I think there needs to be a lot more conversation than that. I guess that was like a lot of points and no real conclusion. I don't know if there is a conclusion, but there's a lot of points. So you guys listening, go make a conclusion on your own.
Yeah, I think that the point that you made is a pretty good one, and I think that, you know, a lot of people are excluded by religion, right? I think this is a careful line that I want to walk, because I know gay preachers and I know, you know, trans bishops, right? Like, I know people that are LGBTQIA+, that have an identity which, for some people in some places, runs afoul of what they think, you know, God is, and what they think the teachings of, you know, Jesus are, right? And then it's like, okay, well, I'm not in this buddy club because the people, even though they may want to be, because the people around me don't want me in the club.
Right.
And so it's a hard line to walk, you know, especially if you're trying to be a good ally to your friends and trying to be a, you know, a decent enough person. It's like, well, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
I understand.
Mm-hmm. Also, you said the Bible's not a good weapon. It is pretty fucking heavy. You can throw it at people. You know, you can throw it back at them too. It's not a boomerang, but somehow what goes around comes around and all that. Now we're getting into
if you have the paperback, the hardcover, or the digital version. That's where you can get it mixed up as to how strong it is.
I'm not trying to be sacrilegious, but did the Bible need to be a separate book from the hymn book? Like, why can't we put them all in one book?
I actually do know the answer to this one. It wouldn't fit in the little shelf on the back of
That's point. That's a good point. God damn. Someone said, I think it was a Simpsons joke, is like Catholics with the kneeling and the sitting and the standing and the turning and the kneeling. It's like Simon Says. I'm like, God damn, that's totally right.
Yeah.
I went to one that didn't have the little pads. This is like people who have no religion in them. They've tuned out long ago.
Right.
But
yeah, to put a little chapter in the video to skip where we talked about religion.
I'm going to go back and correct myself and say, for people that haven't had this particular Christian experience, I went to a church that didn't have padding on the kneel bars that came down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I was a kid and that was awful.
Could you imagine all the 80-year-olds that could barely walk having to do that?
Oh my god. And you have to kneel to get into the row, and you have to kneel or bow, and you go past the altar. It's like, I swear, this one church that I went to for years, it had a bathroom, and you had to walk past the two altars, or I don't know what they're called. The big table things at the front. You had to walk past 3 of them. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, Tim Tebow. It was before Tim Tebow, but I was Tebowing. I don't think Tebowing is a word that exists in our current lexicon.
No.
So I'll say that I was Kaepernicking, and that'll make everyone way more angry for no reason.
They'll know. They'll know what you mean, though.
In honor of the church and everything, I had to take a knee quite a few times just to go to the bathroom. So I just wanted to talk about that. I thought that was interesting. We try to have serious conversations on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got to talk about that. I want to switch to something way less serious.
Okay.
And talk about... It also says in your Twitter profile, and not to let you know or think that I didn't do a lot of research before the show, that you play Smash, and we actually were talking before the show about Smash.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to hear what you think about Smash, like, where you're... Because I know CC's big into Smash. He's big into Melee. Really big into Melee. I, after holding out for a long time... got into it at Summit.
Okay.
I got into the
most recent one?
Yes, I got into the final schmaz, the top 8 or whatever, right?
Okay.
That was pretty good. And then I tried watching Ultimate, but I think there's too many characters. I can't really.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with 2 Smashes. I can't. That's too much. But you go. But talk about what Smash means to you, and talk about your main.
Okay, so the brief history of my Smash experience is I grew up with a cousin that was about 3 years older than me, and he had an N64 and Smash 64. Ooh. Now, I want to be clear, I am 24 years old right now, and I was playing Smash 64 at 3 years old.
Oh, jeez.
And when you're a 3-year-old playing against a 6-year-old, you get bodied. And this cousin beat me through 64, through Melee, through Brawl, and a little bit of Smash 4. And then in 2017, I was a junior in college, and I found my local Smash scene, started playing with them, started getting better. I went home that winter break, Christmas break, whatever, and destroyed him and all of my other friends from that area. And not been close since. But yeah, I used to play Melee, actually. For those of you who are Smash fans, I went to the Big House 6 and the Big House 9. Nice. And most recently, I just went to Riptide, which happened this month. September 2021 right now. I don't know when this podcast is airing, but I just went to Riptide, and that was a good time too.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was recent.
Yeah. So I used to play Melee. I stopped playing Melee because I don't like how technically heavy it is. The skill floor is insanely high. The skill floor in Melee to be a competent person is a skyscraper. And then the skill ceiling is space. Whereas the skill floor in Ultimate is like a 1-story house in the suburbs of Chicago, right?
Right.
And the skill ceiling is extremely high still. I'm not sure how high that one will go. We'll probably never reach it because the next Smash game will come out or something.
Sure.
But yeah, I still play Ultimate a little bit. I went to that tournament, and I think where I'm at with it now is I'm going to follow competitive because I enjoy watching it, but playing myself, there's too much going on, and I'd have to commit too much time to be any bit of remotely good. When I went to the Riptide, my bracket was a DDD into a Robin. Oof. And I have not played against those characters hardly at all, and I got destroyed. I went 0-2, and then I went and hung out with my friends for the rest of the day.
I have to live with the reality that from my online friends, I suck at almost every game. I have to live with that.
Yeah.
I get over on people in Mario Kart because I speedrun it and I play a lot more Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But everything else, even games that I love, like my favorite game is Halo Wars. And I get straight up dunked on every single time that I play anybody at all. Because even though it's my favorite game, I get screwed with my pants on. Like, I don't have a great way of saying it otherwise.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I play Ultimate, and I'm going to let you guess what my Ultimate main is. And I don't think you'll ever guess it, but I'll give you 3 guesses.
King K. Rool.
No.
Mario.
Nope.
Ridley.
No.
Okay.
I'm a rare breed. I am a Little Mac main.
Oh no.
I love me some Mac, dude. I hold the big green button and go forward. Every time that because every single Mac move, except for his, like, tilts, have super armor. So every Smash deck has super armor. So every time I hit somebody in the next week, my name is Johnny Knoxville and I'm going to the moon! I skunk on people. I play a lot with I don't live that close, but I'm friends with people in the Ottawa Smash scene. I play with a bunch of them.
Okay.
Qwil is from there. Crunchy Brown, yeah. A bunch of other people, right? And they're all better than me, but nothing brings me more satisfaction when I beat someone purely because they have no idea anything to do with Little Mac other than to throw me off the edge.
Right.
And I have practiced hours and hours and hours of getting back.
That's what you need to do with him.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah. He has one thing. If you're below ledge, you can do the up B, and if you're trying to get back to ledge and you're not going to make it, you can do side B. Right. Or the diving punch. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
That's all you got. He has jump sucks. So I'm like, all right. Yep. And he's also fucking lighter than a grease fire. He's so fast. So I like Crunchy Brown plays Incineroar. I just love beating the crap out of Incineroar.
That sounds like the wrestler versus boxer match right there.
I just hate aerials in fighting games.
Oh, yeah?
I hate nothing. It's like old fighting games weren't nothing but aerials.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what did I play against today? I played against an Olimar, and I was on my secondary, which is a DK. I'm trying to get better. Right?
Yeah.
My DK secondary. And I was just, right before we actually started recording the podcast, it was the last match that I did before I started getting ready. And this Olimar is doing nothing but chucking fucking Pikmin at me. That's it. That's all he's doing. Run to the other side of the stage, throw Pikmin at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you suck. How is this fun for anyone? What are we doing? I'm like, I work 9 to 5. That means if I work 40 hours in a week, and there's 24 hours in a day, and I have to sleep for 8 hours a day, and I usually sleep for 6 hours a day, which means that I spend 70 hours a week either sleeping or at work. And no one can do this math in their head. But if you take those 70 hours, 24, 48, 96, 120 hours in a week that I have available to play Smash, those remaining 50 hours, part of which includes the time it takes me to commute to my job, and part of it requires things for me to do such as, I don't know, bathe. And this is what we're doing in the little bit of time that we have to play, is you're gonna chuck fucking Pikmin at me?
See, you're forgetting one important detail. That dude that you're playing against is like 15, doesn't have a care in the world, he's got all the time, and he's having fun making you upset. I used to do it in tournament. I play Ike, right? I don't have any projectiles. I just have a big old sword. And I went up against one of the best players from my region named Tybal, and he actually made it out of pools at Riptide. And this was pre-COVID. I think it was one of the last couple tournaments pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. And he plays Toon Link, and he loves throwing stuff at you. So I got him to game 3. He beat me game 1, I beat him game 2. And then game 3, he takes me to Battlefield. And I just went full hard read on the first movement, right? Took the stock almost instantly, and then I just camped the top platform for 7 minutes. I just stayed there, bro. He could not get me. And I was satisfied with myself.
Oh god, that's awful. I remember we did there was a melee tournament at a GDQ that we went to. And CC always enters the melee tournament, and we go and we cheer them on. And they're going around the room and they're doing the melee thing, right? And it's pretty cool, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
And CC's playing against this ice climber who's just chain grabbing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, now listen. Oh, that's a totally legitimate strategy, CJ. It's like, but it's boring as shit. I said, there is more to life than winning. Right? The worst thing that can happen to you isn't losing. You know, not to be morbid, it's probably dying, right? It's like,
Sure.
the worst thing that can happen isn't losing. It's like, just play not like that, right? Isn't it violation of the spirit of the game? You know? Like, we have that in real sports. I'm not saying that esports isn't a real sport, but in, like, traditional sports, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't cheese it. You know, you don't get the 400-pound running back out there and, you know, run him up the middle like he's some kind of bank armored car. Those guys exist. You could get them. But, you know, like, come on. What are we doing? So, like, why you gotta cheese it? I was playing against it, not to make this the Melee, the Smash podcast, but I was playing against...
We'll get the speedrunning.
I was playing against a Donkey Kong who I was down 3-1 as Little Mac. He didn't hit me for 2 stocks. Then he spawns, hits me once, grabs me, and throws me against the stage and I die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you suck. You suck. Why? It's a friendly lobby that we're in. It was like a friendly arena. And it's like, dude, I couldn't imagine losing again. I'm like, you couldn't imagine losing again? Question mark? Maybe y'all just don't lose enough. I lose all the fucking time. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I don't whip myself after. Like, damn it, CJ, you are a failure. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What? You gotta take it easy.
Now, I will say, the people that don't play Little Mac, every other character main, just enjoys bullying Little Mac. It's just fun to
people
just
like to
it.
try to bully me. Now, this Wi-Fi shit where I'm getting like stamped out by a Zelda, or I'm getting Wi-Fi'd by Steve, like, you know, that's fine. Catch me in person, man. I'm telling you. Catch these hands in person.
Yeah.
I'm taking a game. I'm not going to win the set. I won't win the set. I'm taking a game. My favorite thing to do with people with Little Mac is that everyone thinks you can shield the KO punch.
Oh, yeah.
And no, you fucking can't.
Nope. It goes right through.
Like a knife through hot butter, baby.
Yup.
Like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do? Oh, boom! Here comes the boom! Shit. But yeah, so it's cool. I like your outlook on the future. I kind of like watching it. I don't know. I like watching football a lot.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, when or like baseball, I'm huge into baseball. Basketball. Not hockey. Can't do hockey.
Yeah.
That's you know. Any sports for you? No?
The most traditional sports that I have enjoyed have been any of the combat sports, the ones that are real at least.
Sure.
Like boxing and UFC and MMA. I like watching those a lot. I don't follow them, mostly because I don't know where to follow them, and I haven't put the effort in to try to. But when they do come up, I enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, I think ESPN carries UFC now, so if you like watch on ESPN, you can just watch it right on their site.
Yeah.
I do like UFC. I do like boxing. Boxing is in a rough place. I mean, it's okay, but you don't have like a Muhammad Ali or anything.
Right.
You don't have a Mike Tyson. You don't have a Evander. You don't have like a big marquee. You don't have a Mayweather anymore.
Right.
So, and I like UFC. It's okay. I mean, people get really fucked up in that one.
Yeah. Did you ever see?
Good.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. Did you ever see a show called Bully Beatdown?
No, I haven't. What is this?
Oh, really? Okay. The way you laughed, I thought you had seen it. It just like repressed the memory, and then it came back. No. So Bully Beatdown was a show that I'm sure got taken off the air because they got too many lawsuits or something. But what they did is, what's that show where they come and renovate your house? And they come with the big megaphone outside your house and yell your name. What's that show? It doesn't matter. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They would do that.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Yeah, that's the one. They would do that, except they would go to somebody's house where somebody had been claimed to be bullied by the guy that lives there. And they would go, "Hey, Steve, come out here. We heard you've been bullying some nerds. How about you take that into the ring with a professional UFC fighter or an MMA fighter for the chance to win $10,000? And then they would put them in a ring, a cage match, with a UFC or MMA fighter for the chance to win $10,000.
So, this is a real show.
It's a real show.
I'm reading the page, but I'm gonna maybe ruin it. They go to the house, right, and they like talk about it, and then they're like, "Okay, here's $10,000. Okay, we'll give you this money. We'll give you a chance to win this money if you fight a professional MMA fighter, and we'll give you 5,000. So you'd win 5,000. You'd lose 1,000 every time you were forced to tap out. If you won, you got 5K extra if you could survive the entire 3 minutes. But you don't get any money if you quit. At the end, any money that you lost goes to your victim. Now here's the thing. It says here, it has been suggested that Bully Beatdown is largely staged, and that in most cases the bully victim had never met prior to the taping of each episode. One of the bullies depicted had included his appearance on the show in his acting resume. Another bully is a professional stuntman who had previously appeared in other TV shows. In response, Jason Miller wrote what he labeled a troll post, in which he called the show completely fake to mock those who called the show fake. Miller later stated on his blog that the physical beatings depicted on the show could not be faked. He referred to the bullies as douchebags who actually believe that they can beat professional fighters, and that the host of the show has maintained that it's legit. It cannot possibly have been real.
I don't know, man. You gotta go watch it. It's a real good watch, either way.
I'm trying to see if they ever won, okay?
They did. There was one guy that won. He was built like young Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he turtled the whole time. He was just in a ball. Standing up, but like fist up. I'm doing the motion. You can't see me. Fist up in front of his face, head tucked, and ran around the ring for 3 minutes.
There is a guy. So the one guy won the 10 grand. One guy in 24 episodes won the 10 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. His name was Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay. One guy won 9 grand. His name was Harley. And one guy won 7 grand. Yeah. So, like, most of the time they didn't win anything. They stopped, like, in the beginning, they won a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think in season 2, they basically win every episode. Something. In season 3, only 2 people win $1 grand. It's like, damn, the $10,000 payout's really going.
There was even one episode in which one of the bullies knocked down the professional fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Just caught him off guard somehow, knocked him down. And the fighter got mad and roundhouse kicked the guy in the face, which they were not allowed to do based on the rules of the show. In real fight, they would be allowed to, but for the rules of the show, they were only allowed to kick at the waist level or below. And the bully got a concussion from it. And they were like, here's the 10 grand. He wasn't allowed to do that. And the bully was like, nah, I got my pride. I don't want that 10 grand. Give it to the other guys that I bullied. That guy beat me fair and square.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And they always had that heartwarming moment at the end where they were like, I'm never going to bully a kid again. I understand what it's like to be bullied now that I got my butt kicked by the professional fighter.
What, now that I got kicked in the face?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch... Now, I'm putting the timeline of this show was at 2009, so it's possible that you were a little too young, but did you ever watch Kimbo Slice?
No, I did not.
Kimbo Slice was a very large man with a big beard and bald, and he did backyard, like, bare-knuckle brawls. Imagine Keemstar quality, cell phone quality, in someone's backyard, and he beat the living bejesus out of people. And Dana White said, I will never have Kimbo Slice in a fucking UFC ring. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
And then, like, he did The Ultimate Fighter, which is the show where it's like, hey, you can become a UFC guy. And he came in and it's Kimbo Slice, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. He's actually, like, not like an asshole. And he actually wants to become a UFC fighter?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a redemption arc here. God damn, I wanted someone who's like, hey, I beat the crap out of people on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, it was just crazy. And then he ended up fighting in the UFC.
That's pretty cool. It's a nice story.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good story. I like it. You know, I like those little moments, you know?
Yeah.
So this is the Speedrun Insider, so we should talk about speedrunning at some point.
Yeah, we're like 40 minutes in.
No, it'll be fine.
All right. I'm ready.
I am interested in hearing first that had you done a marathon before SDAT?
I had not been a runner in a marathon before SDAT.
So talk about your first experience in a marathon, maybe like the process leading up to it, you know, what that was like, and then like actually like doing your run, and any other things you want to say about SDAT, you can feel free.
Sure. So leading up to it, there's a guy named Kefka14 who has the current any % world record in Chameleon Twist, and he used to do a lot of marathons. He did Chameleon Twist at SGDQ in 2014. I believe it was SGDQ, and then he went dark for a while, and then he recently made a resurgence in the community, and then got world record, and then he asked me to commentate a marathon for him. I can't remember what marathon it was, but he got 100% world record in a marathon at that marathon, which was pretty neat. And then he asked me to commentate his run at SGDQ 2021, which, you know, just happened a few months ago. And that was a really good time. And then I was like, man, I want to be in a marathon. So I just happened to be looking for a marathon when I noticed that you guys were running a marathon. And I was like, yo, the guys that I'm somewhat connected to in some way are running a marathon. And I really don't know how I found it other than just looking on speedrun.com. And it just happened to be like a twist of fate that everything up to now has led to me submitting for SDAT. And then I submitted. You guys accepted me, of course, and I had a really great time. I'm wearing my SDAT shirt right now. My wife was like, why are you wearing that? They can't see you. And I was like, it makes me feel better. I feel cool.
Hey, listen, you are cool, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting the store.
But yeah, I really enjoyed being in SDAT. If you go and watch the SGQ video where I'm commentating, towards the beginning of it, there's an audio delay where the host is reading a donation, and then I start talking, and it sounds like I'm talking over him, But in my headset, he was done talking. But then
Right.
on the stream, I looked like a jerk, like just interrupting this guy.
Right.
And then the second time, the host didn't unmute his mic on our feed, so the stream could hear him, but we could not.
Oh, so you
And
did it again?
I almost did it again. I started talking right as he finished a sentence.
Wow.
So I looked back at it and I was like, man, they're gonna make fun of me for being a bad commentator talking over the host, and it wasn't even my fault, man. But I say that to commend you guys for putting on such a good marathon, because that wasn't a problem in your guys' marathon. Your tech and whatever you're doing to make SDAT happen was really, really good. And I really enjoyed that experience of it as well. The back end portion.
Well, thank you very much. A lot goes into that, obviously.
Yeah.
Qwo does a great job. He does all the tech stuff. All the tech stuff. I was with you for your run, wasn't I?
Yes.
Yes. That was a crazy morning.
Yeah.
So we had a run drop because the runner wasn't feeling well.
Right.
And so we ended up doing... Qwo did a run, and I was hosting. And then I ended up doing a run, and Qwo was, like, commentating. And then, were you on after me?
Yes.
Or were you... Yeah. So then I went into host mode. And what's crazy about that was, on that day, it was a 12-hour day. I got 2 hours of a break, 3.5 hours apart. So I got like 40 minutes here and an hour here. And that was my break for the whole day. I spent the whole day at the desk. And what a really good way. And Chameleon Twist ended up being a really great game. I'm glad that we accepted it. Everything in a vacuum. You do your best when you're picking submissions. Like, okay, this will go here. And maybe this isn't the best, or maybe this isn't the best, but you have to believe that people are going to, like, step into it, you know?
Right.
And I thought your submission was good, and I'm like, okay, we're going to put it on the final day. It fits there. It's good there. It works there. Then we did the 2 N64 games right before it, and then it fit really well, right?
Yeah.
The Chameleon Twist community was very generous. They donated a bunch of money. You donated as well. It was a great experience, and you really owned that run. That was a great run. It had a great incentive. And obviously, you met your incentive, so you kept the streak alive. You said, I do not want this streak of SDAT incentives being met to end with me.
Yeah. I was... When I saw the schedule come out, I was like, oh, I'm on the last day? That's kind of wild. Why are they putting an obscure 3D platformer on the N64 on the last day? That's money day. And not to be too, like, businessy about it, but, like, you're trying to raise money for a charity. Your goal is to raise money. You want to do it in the best way possible so that the charity receives as much as possible, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt honored to be on the last day because I knew that. And I'm really glad both my community within, like, my streamverse and the Chameleon Twist community as well just both came out. And I think I looked at the number. If you include, there was one of my friends that donated during your run that was right before it. And if you include my donation that was, like, both my parents and my parents matched me on a $25 donation.
It was nice.
It was $135 gained within my, like, 40-minute block.
That was really cool.
And I was like, nice. I feel pretty good about that.
You know, you do bring up the business end of it, which we think about, obviously, a lot. It's not something that people, when they're participating, necessarily think about, and it's also not something that the audience really wants to hear about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in general, they don't care about that kind of stuff. They want to see the runs. They want to see them when they want to see them. They want to tune in when they can tune in.
Yeah.
But the business part of it, where you're just like, hey, we can do more if we can raise more.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were into that final day, and we had quietly planned on getting to 7,000.
Oh, really?
Quietly. Yeah. Like, the goal was 3K so that we would hit the goal no matter what, because we knew we could raise 3K.
Yeah.
First weekend was a little rough, you know, but there are times where it's like, okay, people, this is the run that they paid for, but they're not going to pay any more. Does that make sense? Like, I think TGH is a great example. That is a great run. It is a great run to end any day with. Mm-hmm. It was perfect, and he does a great job. And Jay, if you're listening, I love you. Like, you're fantastic. Inside and out. Shout out to TGH, was episode number 44 of a Speedrun Insider. And great episode, great guy. You know, after we did that podcast, we talked for like 40 minutes. He was a really nice guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's a good dude. And but people had been donating all day. That was their reward for all of the things that they did that day.
Yeah.
Was they got to watch that run. So the ending run can really be hit or miss. You can either raise a stupid amount of money, or it can just be, hey, this is like, we're here, we're hanging out now.
Yeah.
This is it. There's no more worlds left to conquer. There's no more incentives to raise money for. You know? But everyone really came through. The incentives were all great. Everyone was very generous. And then we raised $1,000 in the last 40 minutes.
Yeah, that was wild.
If I live to be 100, I don't know that I'll ever see something like that again. It was that crazy.
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, what, they actually hit 7K? Insane. I went to bed last night and they were at less than 6.
I got congratulation texts during the new Snap run. So I remember, so we had, when we got 3K, Crispy Tacos was on screen. No, sorry, that was Insert Logic. When we hit 4K, that was Crispy Tacos. When we hit 5K, was Old Snap. When we hit New Snap, it was 6K. And I was doing commentary, and I was like, wow, I was getting congratulation texts from family and friends saying, hey, congratulations, you raised 6K. The most we had ever raised before was 4,300. This was a huge step up, a huge improvement. And they all went to bed thinking, oh, this is it. Like my family and friends did.
Yeah.
And then we raised another $1,000 at 1 a.m, and it's like, what the actual F? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So, crazy. It was a crazy experience, and one that I'll cherish forever. I'm glad that, you know, being in the final day meant something to you.
Yeah.
It is meant as a vote of confidence.
Yeah. I think, so in like 2011, 10, 12, somewhere in there, I was really sick one day. And I had like 104-degree fever. It was not good. I should have went to a hospital probably. I didn't. And I was like off and on sleeping on my bed. And if it's 2011, that would have put me at around 15 years old. So, you know, I'm still living at home and having my mom take care of me, all that stuff. And I just put random things on the TV to sleep in and out of. And Siglemic and his world records of SM64 was one of the things that I put on. I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. Let's put that on there. Somebody going really fast. And I remember, for some reason, vividly thinking, let's watch this Japanese guy, because he's playing on the Japanese copy of the game, and he must have been Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Play Super Mario 64 really fast. That was a cool game. And, like, somewhere in my brain, that just stayed. And at some point, I discovered GDQ. And that was SGDQ 2013 was the first one I discovered. And that's when I got into speedrunning. Immediately after that, I was like, okay, I got to find a game to speedrun. and I looked around and I was like, Chameleon Twist. I sold that a few years ago. The store I sold it to went out of business. The owners of that store started up a Magic the Gathering shop and were selling all their old inventory there. And I went there and found my original cartridge of Chameleon Twist, and I know because it has the sticker ripped halfway down. So I know it was the exact same one. I repurchased it from them, and I was like, I'm gonna speedrun this game. So I did my Google, and this is 2013. CJ, how long have you been speedrunning or been in speedrunning scene?
2017.
Okay, so this
Got
is
me by a
some
few
like
years.
this is some like old knowledge, and if you ask the people that came from like the 2010-11 era, this is like youngster stuff. But uh, in 2013, speedrun.com did not exist.
Correct.
LiveSplit did not exist. The Chameleon Twist community barely existed. There were 4 dudes: Keymaker, Kefka, who I've mentioned earlier, Fourstride, and Rubik's Rocks. And I typed in Chameleon Twist speedrun, and I found Keymaker. And from there, I found his Twitch channel, found Twitch in general, really. I knew it existed, but I didn't know speedrunning existed on it. And he was playing Ocarina of Time. He was doing a bingo speedrun. Back in the day, that was like all the rage. And I was like, hey, are you the guy that did a Chameleon Twist speedrun? And he got ecstatic. He immediately turned off Ocarina of Time, plugged in Chameleon Twist, and did runs. And I think he got a PB that night too, which is wild because he was like, I haven't played this game in months. But yeah, that was like my start in speedrunning. And from there, I tried like Mario 64, I tried Pokemon, I tried Ocarina of Time, I tried a lot of the major stuff, but Chameleon Twist stuck. And to this day, I still play it, obviously. But what I was trying to say there is, from my knowledge of seeing people in marathons and having so many friends come and go throughout the years of being in the speedrunning community, you see that for 8 years, and you see GDQ morph for 8 years, and you see marathons come and start up and go away for 8 years. You understand that the last day is important. And that's why I felt very honored to be on the last day of SDAT. I know that was a long-winded explanation, but
Hey, listen, I liked it. It was a good
Thank you.
answer. It's interesting, you know. I mean, some people, they're like, when's my run? Okay, cool, I'll be there. And they don't hang out beforehand. You know, it's not required. You know, it's
Yeah.
absolutely not required. I'm not expecting people to be like really like, polluting their britches with delight over the prospect of being in my marathon. But it's really special when people are excited to be in the event. You know, it means something. They ask questions. They want to know. They want to talk about their incentives. They want to work something out. They want to do something different. They want to offer something new. You know, that stuff, like, it makes it more special for us. And it's one of the reasons that I think in the future, we're not going to... Well, first of all of the replacement runners at SDAT were amazing.
Yeah.
One. But I think that in the future, we probably won't allow replacement runners like, oh, hey, I'm quitting. Can my friend do the run?
Yeah.
Like, we probably won't allow that, because I know there were people that submitted that I'm like, well, I could have put that guy in there.
Yeah.
Or that girl in there, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's a tightrope to walk, but I definitely like the people that hang out and it means something and they get to be a part of the experience, because it's really exciting for us, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's good. It's a good time.
I hope you keep running these marathons. I know you've already announced that you're doing some more, but I hope you guys continue to, because I would like to be a part of them more.
Nice. We're doing... Good?
I like this Speed Docs community. Being in the Discord, being in the chat when I could. Obviously, I had some other stuff that I had to do, life stuff. But, you know, whenever I could, I was watching SDAT, and I've really enjoyed that.
Well, thank you. The people that watch our YouTube videos the most, I'm thankful they're not the representative community in Discord and Twitch at the moment, because the YouTube comments they're a very ornery bunch, I should say. And I would say that the people that we have in Discord and on Twitter and Twitch are really cool, and they're just fun to be around. They get it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's like, man, you're not this person or that person. It's like, correct, you have amazing powers of foresight and perception. I am indeed not this person, and I am not trying to be. You know, don't worry. Summoning Salt will make his own marathon, and then we'll be ripping him off too. Give it enough time. We have no intentions of stopping. We have to do Speed Docs with a K-a-thon, an all fishing marathon.
Ooh.
Which I am so something for.
I'll be there. So after I heard that was a thing, I looked up fishing games that I could learn to speedrun. I've been quietly working on one. Even my own Twitch chat, they don't know about it yet. So
I have also been quietly working on one.
I hope we didn't pick the same one.
Hang on. Which system is yours for?
PC.
PC?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I picked one on the GameCube, and I'm like, okay, this game looks awful. I hope nobody picks it.
Yeah. So, hopefully, I can submit this one to you, and we can have a good time with Speed Docs-a-thon with a K.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that how you're going to advertise it? Like Speed Docs-a-thon
with a K? Yeah, I think so. We're putting the K back in Speed Docs-a-thon. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. I'm curious how that'll work out, and I'm also curious about obviously what we're going to do for launch party, which is supposed to be a shorter event, but I'm wondering what the format will be, if we'll change it at all.
Do we have a time period for any of these events, by the way?
No. They will happen before SDAT 2022 happens.
Okay.
So if SDAT 2022 is going to be around the same time next year, so like August, September-ish, they will both be done before then. So, and then at that point we'll have done 3 events, so we'll have to see what we want to do, but it's got a lot of fun stuff on the horizon. I think I'm definitely excited for all of it. And I'm excited for you to submit your fishing game. I'm excited to see everyone's fishing games they're working on, because
you're going to view so many fishing games.
People really wanted this, and I don't know why. So I said, you better fucking show up.
It's a hilarious meme.
It's it's a real pisser.
Yeah.
So, all right. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover before we start wrapping up?
Sure. I did want to talk real quick and give a huge shout out to the Chameleon Twist community.
Go ahead.
I know I was saying in 2013 there was 5 people. You include me. I looked before this recording because I wanted to know. There are 54 unique individuals that have submitted to the leaderboard now.
Wow.
Which is a crazy increase. The price of Chameleon Twist has skyrocketed, by the way, if you try to buy a cartridge. When I bought my cartridge back in 2013, it was $5.
Okay.
Chameleon Twist currently goes on eBay for over $50.
What the hell?
Yeah. And just in general, and I know you do world record histories, and one day you're going to do Chameleon Twist, I promise. Because it has a huge history. And nobody will watch it because they don't know what it is. But I'll convince you that it's worth doing.
I'm telling you right now. This is a promise. You ready?
All right.
If you put the history together, if you make a spreadsheet with the runs, and you make a spreadsheet and put it in order, and you find me a bunch of video, and
Okay.
you want to explain to me what happens, this is before God and everyone. I will make the world record history of Chameleon Twist speedruns.
You got it. I'll wait until after I get the world record and then send it to you.
There you go. That was someone's strategy before, by the way. Someone did have that strategy. Yeah, I'm going to write the script, but I'll send it to you after I get the world record. I won't say what game it was, but that was definitely someone's plan, and it did happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be in the video. I had the world record twice.
There you go.
Here's a couple fun facts. Spoiler alert for anybody that wants to watch that video in 2 years when I eventually write all this stuff down. The first run of Chameleon Twist ever recorded that we know about was by Dave Marshmallow Gibbons, who is a legendary old school speedrunner from the Speed Demos archive days.
Mm-hmm.
His time was bad, of course. But do you know when the run was?
Circa 2005, 2006?
2004.
There you go.
And we have that footage, and we put that record on the leaderboard. Just like threw it on there. We had the video, and we just linked it and put it on there so people know that that was the original record that we have footage of. And one more tidbit. The Guinness Book of World Records Gamer Edition 2018 did a whole speedrun.com merge thing where they had like 5 or 6 pages of speedrun.com records. Chameleon Twist Any % was on that.
That's cool.
You know who had world record at the time?
You?
Me, baby. Let's go. There was like a 3-month period where they took the data, and I was in there. Somebody beat it like 2 months after they took the data.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. So page 194 of the Guinness Book of World Records Gamer Edition 2018. I was in there.
I was there. I'm a legend at the bank. That's perfect, dude. That's perfect. Oh my god.
And outside of that, I do want to say thanks for having me on. I look forward to submitting for more of your marathons and more than just Chameleon Twist, because I've been learning other things. There's a game that came out in July called Super Sammy Roll. Have you heard of it?
I have not, no.
Okay, it's just an indie game. It's not surprising that you wouldn't have heard of it. But I tweeted at the guy. I was like, hey, what was your biggest inspirations for this game? Because after I saw the trailer, I had ideas. Mm-hmm. And he said there was a marbles game that he played. And he said, what would this be like if Nintendo made it? And then as he was making it, he got extreme inspiration from Super Monkey Ball and Chameleon Twist. And then if you watch the game, you would also be able to tell there's a lot of inspiration from Sonic and Mario 3D World as well. And that combination is super duper fun. The game is super hard. I literally just beat it earlier this week. And I'm like, I gotta speedrun this. This game is too much fun. Every mistake every time I've died or took damage in this game, it has been my fault. This is the perfect speedrun game. So I'm learning that. I'm learning something for speed docs with an S, or with an K. That's the letter. Speed docs with a K. Speed doxathon. Learning the secret game for that. I got Chameleon Twist still. We never even talked about how I ran Snap, and that's how I even found you guys.
A very brief footnote that, yes, that's how we met Qwil, is that he ran Snap.
And maybe more. There's other things that I've been looking at, too. So hopefully I'll have some other stuff to submit to you other than Chameleon Twist next time, too. Along with Chameleon Twist, I guess.
Did you submit... You did this first Snap run in 2015?
Yeah. Did you just pull up the speedrun.com page?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did 100% run of Snap in whatever year you just said. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm never doing this again. I'm too bad at this. And then I came back for any %. And I did it for the month of April because of new Snap. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people did. And
it's cool.
At the end of April, I was like, I'm going to order a Japanese copy so I can get that extra 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten around to playing it, but it's still on the list. I will get to it. I promise.
It's good.
I'm going to get back to it. I want to get a better time. I'm not going for world record or anything. Eric's
No.
crazy.
Yeah, Eric's insane. I don't
Chloe's
fuck
crazy.
with-
Cece's crazy.
Yeah. Anyone that has a sub 21, it's like, nah, man, I'm not waking
Yeah.
up and choosing violence.
Yeah. I can see myself going for a 21. That's it.
I got my 2145 and I said, all right, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm set.
I'm going to play some Mario Kart and some Nick Kart Racers.
I'm going to play some games that are actually shit. I ain't playing no good games no more. I only speedrun Garbo. Goddamn. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, dude. I really appreciate it. If
Thanks
you
for
want
having
to
me.
follow my guest, you can find him on Twitter. That's at qwillinallthefish. I'm going to spell that for you once now and once at the end. Qwillinallthefish. That's Qwil, like the writing instrument, in
W.
all the fish. You can find him on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/qwillinallthefish. You can find him on speedrun.com, speedrun.com/user/qwillinallthefish. And youtube.com, search for, and I promise you, you will not get a duplicate result, qwillinallthefish. Yeah, one last
You
time.
might get some Smash videos, actually.
Yeah, there you go. One last time. Qwillinallthefish. Qwil in all the fish. So, thank you, Qwil, for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who listens each and every week. Keep doing what you're doing. Support the show. Listen, like, download, share with your friends. Download for your neighbors and your neighbors' kids. Share it with your dog. Your dog likes podcasts when you're not at home. You know, I'm good company. And keep doing all those things so we can keep ourselves free and clear from any outside influence from the algorithm. And we'll be back next week with another great episode of Speedrun Insider. Bye-bye.
Bye.